Hello, friends. The part 4 of Indian Ocean region, India's effort to counter the China influence. As I already said, that the India is making cordial relationship establishing with African countries and island nations. But two important things with the Mauritius and Seychelles and the bilateral naval exercise with Milan as United States and Indian navies conducts this exercise, or not only these two, but 30 foreign navies exercise actually, uh, making a cluster of countries to cooperating and sharing their expertise. And Malabar, everyone knows that there are four countries, and as a military exercise in the Indian Ocean region are significant due to the increasing Chinese threat. Separately, in June 2020, Indian Navy increased its surveillance and operational deployment in the Indian Ocean region. In June 2020, particularly when India and China locked into the border uh, dispute in 20th June, I think, was the Galwan incident. Then Indian army immediately took this step to choke out the Malacca Strait to threat China. Immediately they got active, and then June 2020 was a very uh, difficult period for both countries, because there was it seemed it was uh, just as of was feeling between these two countries. Diplomatic relations immediately came down, and our Mr. Jaishankar, foreign minister, said that until unless the border dispute is not settled, there could be no normal relationship between the countries. So India actually activated all his effort, and the Indian Navy in June 2020 held an important exercise with Japanese counterparts in the Indian Ocean region, while Chinese naval vessels and submarines makes persistent incursions. China's ventures in the Indian Ocean region as seen as one of the most vital regions for the Indian Navy to assert its preparedness to ward off security threats in the region. So immediately India started his preparation after 2020. With the Seychelles, India has agreed to develop infrastructure on Assumption Island. There is Assumption Island. India has also helped Victoria with the ocean mapping to protect Seychelles' exclusive economic zone, and also donated aircraft and launched a radar project. A radar project for surveillance purposes, and donated aircraft to protect its economic zones. Seychelles This actually makes the India's presence there good. It is very important to note that Mauritius and Seychelles, being the small islands that they are, may not align with India to the point of isolating China completely in the Indian Ocean region. They cannot come too much closer to isolate China, but they will make the balance between these two countries. But there is more probability that China may trap them by on their debt trap, and their sovereignty would be questioned. India doesn't have neither intention to make anybody in the net of debt, to capture them in the net of debt. India don't have like this concept. Even Indian foreign minister and our policy is that I will develop according to the host countries' conditions. Whatever the infrastructure development going on in many countries, wherever the Indians are there, our policies that I will develop their infrastructure on their conditions. I will not impose my condition, my term and condition. You have to follow this. But what is your comfortability, host country's comfortability and their condition? I will adopt that and facilitate them. That is our policy. But it is contrary to China. The United States, on when Donald Trump was the president, and Mr. Biden is now, is that they both have signed actually India and Washington logistic support deal, logistics exchange memorandum of understanding, memorandum of agreement, LEMOA, LIMO, between Washington and Delhi, would enable India to gain logistic support from many United States facilities located throughout the Indo-Pacific. And this logistic support actually helped India when Indian forces were locked in Ladakh. The United States armies supplied cloths to stay there in a very harsh climate, and weapons they are already supplying for our soldiers, and bulletproof jacket was also made by my DRDO research center. Is very light one, but United States also supplied it. So the logistic support given are by the United States, and the India's intention to counter the efforts of belligerent China is actually good, and we are doing it. But one liberal interpretation is that if China's intention is not bad, then its presence is good. But if they are coming with their autocratic mind and forcing, isolating and disturbing the order here, as they are doing always in their domestic policy as well as in foreign policy. Many occasions, I'm saying second time, the talk with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to Mr. Xi Jinping in APEC meeting, when he said him, you have to respect the human rights, etc., international accepted norms. Mr. Xi Jinping aggressively responded, very rudely, and shamefully Mr. Trudeau, shaking hand and went away. It was a very alarming thing. A democratic system, if questioning the autocratic system is responding dry, like a king, like a ruler, dynasties whose empire is very one person driven by. It's challenging, and if that policy is governs the world, then you have to suppose that what would be the world look like. Democratic system must be respected, and international norms must be respected in all its form. What is interpretation of internationally accepted rules and regulations must all countries accept, not their self-interpretation, what they are thinking according to their interest. If that is going so, then there would be class. 9-line, 10-line, whatever they are saying, they are against the sea laws, United Nations Convention on Sea laws. But they are proclaiming always their first thing. China actually economically colonizing the countries and reducing their sovereignty, offering them a huge fund, and they would be unable to pay, so their sovereignty would be questioned. Whatever I will say, you have to accept that. Either you have to refund my money. They are offering a very high interest rate. If they have one time taken loan, they would not be able to repay that, and they will again, for paying that debt payment, they will take loan again. If loan, again loan, and again loan, repay, again take loan, repay, again take loan. This type of concept is continuously iterated many times. So, like countries becoming Sri Lanka and the Pakistan, their policies is actually not inconsistent with international laws and accepted international norms. China must have to rethink, and aggressiveness in the policy is not good. You have to cooperate with the countries. You don't behave like this, that you are the supreme and you are governing the countries, and they are the satellite countries, and you are the power. Actually, the system is going to be multipolar world. Multipolar means there is no bipolar, no. That is multipolar. India's presence is there. And India is also become a pillar, as my Mr. Jaishankar, foreign minister, always saying that. He is proclaiming that I am standing my own ground. If I am not with you or with anybody else, that doesn't mean that I am against something. That means is that I am standing on my ground. That is the important thing. You have to accept that India is also present, and